Okay, so first of all, thank you everyone for obliging us as we work through that. And you can see how Brooks got the answer. And then also for those who attended last year, you'll remember that well when we had our evening um, food and entertainment. And that was Marcia Kyer. She and her husband are actually part of a band. They play throughout the Midwest. And so that was obviously amazing. And thank you, Alice Engelhardt, for keying that up and or queuing that up. And we'll have another little clip here at the end of tonight. But I want to start out with a couple comments. So, and I'm assuming everyone on here tonight is registered or planning on being part of the Summer Blast. And so definitely really tune in here on a couple of things. So at this point, you've all gotten one or more emails from us. But even today, someone said, hey, I haven't seen the email. I said, well, have you checked your spam? Have you checked your promotions? And he went through and found, oh, yeah, here it is. So he's asking me that, but he hadn't really checked. And so we're going to do our best to help you find these. We'll try and put in the subject line something that would be obvious, like Summer Blast. And you just got to be looking for the emails, but also, or not also, but in addition, many of you have, but many of you have not yet activated your registration. So you actually paid and registered for the event, but then the next step is to activate so you have access to the event. And there are 3 different activations, one for each day, one for tomorrow, one for Friday, and one for Saturday. We're going to show you how to do that here in a little bit, but you need to do that in order to actually get into the event starting tomorrow night. So I've got more to talk about, but before I do, I want to go out to the person who is the Zoom master, who I've been working very closely with, and you've heard from her, and she's going to share some things that maybe are redundant to you, but we, again, repetition's the mother of skill, and not everyone's heard everything that's going to be shared. So Ms. Brooke Haynes, I want to go out to you to share a number of things regarding the upcoming event.
Hello, you might hear a little bit of tired in me, but you will see that I'm still pretty excited. When you have something coming and you've been working a lot on it, and yes, while you might be a little exhausted, the excitement keeps you like going and going, and that's where I'm at, because I'm ready for everyone to experience everything we're experiencing behind scenes. So what I want to do is go over a couple things about the event. First of all, we kind of just simplified things. We have learned that some of the email accounts that people have signed up through aren't the actual email accounts they look at every day. So we want to make sure that everything is as simple as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the easiest way to register if you haven't already. We have on some days, we have about half the people who've paid have registered, and on other days, we have a little more or a little less than half. So I know there's plenty of people out there ready to register or activate, as John likes to say, because that's a great way to distinguish registering from the event. Because once you paid, you registered, and now you got to activate access. We have to manually go in there and approve you to be able to log on by the way if you've already paid. So that takes some work and time on our end. So we want to make sure you get that done before the event. Okay, I'm going to share my screen for just a second here. I'm going to share you with the landing page for this event, the event page. And what we've done is, you know what, when in doubt, just go to this page. Matter of fact, by tomorrow, there's going to be even a whole nother section on here that's going to be very helpful throughout the event. For resources and things of that nature. So that's about to come on, but check it out. You can go to this summerblast2020.com, scroll down here, and boom, there are there are the links to go ahead and register for Zoom. You have to register for day 1 and put in your name, your an email address that you'll be using, okay, to register, and click register. And do that for each of my band is in the way, for each of the days, okay? And so go in there and register for those. And what that'll do when you register before the event starts,
Hey,
Zoom will
Brooke,
send you, yes.
John Drennan, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I am going to ask you, try and use the word activate.
So, yes.
Because you are activating your ability to log in at this point, even though it says click here to register, think click here to activate.
Okay, yes. Okay, you know what? We'll get that wording changed. We'll get that wording changed. So yes, activate. I love the difference, and I love the way he's separated that. It's easy for me to understand it when he says it. Not quite as easy for me to remember to say it. So I'll work on that. So when you go to activate your Zoom access, you want to go to this page and go ahead. If you've already done that, then no worries. If you have not, go to summerblast2020.com, scroll down, go to click here to activate for day 1. Go ahead and activate it. Then go click here to activate day 2, activate it, and then day 3. Get those out of the way. Do it tonight. Do it right now on the call, or maybe after the call. And that way, what will happen is Zoom will send you the reminders and the links to log on before the event. Now, for some, if someone else on your team, because no one on this call would do that, happen to not activate the registration link before the call, they can do it right before the event, but I can't promise you we'll manually approve it right then. So they will miss some of the speakers until we can catch it that they need to be activated. So please tell your team to get those links activated, and I just can't drive that home hard. I just can't even say it enough times. Okay, and so then what I want to also let you know, because some people get confused with that, even though you go in and do that tonight, when the event is starting, it's gonna ask for your information again, and that's okay. You'll just go straight into the meeting right at that time. Okay, so visit this page throughout the event, because it's going to always be updating as the event goes on. Okay, and next I want to talk about a little bit about the Zoom etiquette, I guess, and the way that looks like. There's going to be several times where we're going to be able to engage and be in breakout rooms where you all will be talking, and also where you want to have bandwidth. You want to be able to be in an area where you can be heard, and where your video is not lagging, or your sound is not lagging. Also, when you hear the speakers, you want to be aware of that. So throughout the event, if there's any way to make sure that you're in a good area with a good signal, that's always fun for you to be able to hear everybody live and seamlessly. Another thing is about the chat. I think I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. We're going to go over it again. John wants this to be the whole team wants this to be very engaging. And so we want to keep that chat on, and we're going to try it the first time. And so it's really designed for you to chat about the relevant subjects. Like, so if the speaker's talking and there's something about that speaking session or something that was said that resonates, you can talk. It's not really designed for talking back and forth to each other. Okay, we want to be able to read this chat because and watch over it, because that way we can address anything that needs to be addressed. But if everybody's chatting, which that's how it's fun to do, we won't be able to catch all the stuff that we need to catch. Okay. Also, video etiquette. I'm laughing at myself when I say video etiquette. Lately, one thing with videos, you have plenty of backgrounds that you can be in. I understand that. When it comes to the presentation mode for this event, it's very much like these events. You take your video off. So when someone's presenting and talking, turn your video off, and of course you'll be muted. That way there's no distraction. During the breaks and lunch, there's several breaks and lunch break, and before and after, everybody's gonna have their video on, and we can chat, and the music will be going, and we can dance, and that's our time. That's our time to connect and really get to know us and take our relationships to other levels and things of that nature. And let's see. Also, when it comes to your video, I've been seeing lately a lot of, not always is the video aimed the way we want it to be aimed. So take the time to do that. Like, take the time, if your video might be like this, and you get shot by a 4-year-old's Nerf gun in the nose while you're speaking, then take the time to go ahead and take your video and prop it up. This is something you need to know for your business, something you need to know for the networking meetings you're in. We want to see you eye to eye, face to face. We would want to see you at a better angle. So take the time to adjust that video where we're not maybe looking up your nose or your chin or something of that nature. And we want to see you. So if you're barely in there, we can't see you. Okay. So that's another thing I just kind of wanted to go over. And I think that's it. John, is there anything else that I didn't talk about or go over that we want to share?
Well, first of all, you've given a great example of getting to know each other. I think your 4-year-old son is there with you, right?
Just knocked me. I don't know if y'all caught that or not, but it went right on my nose.
I could hear him, feel him, and sense him there. And
yes, that's what that was.
That makes it real. And so you did a great job there, because I know the distraction. I've got a 3-year-old and 5-year-old grandson that I'm seeing pretty regularly, and they can be very demanding. So that was great. But yeah, I want to bring up a couple things. One, we talked about bandwidth. And this is most important for those who will be speaking and hosting and that kind of thing. But you want to but even just watching the Zoom, in your home, you might have other people on the internet using up bandwidth, and especially if they're watching Netflix or doing a lot of streaming and that kind of thing. So just be aware of that. That could slow you. It's not going to slow us down, but that could slow you down and interrupt what you're hearing and seeing. So anything you want to add to that, Brooke?
Yeah, there is nothing else I would add to that.
Okay. And so I want to go back to a few things Brooke said. First of all, when you activate, do make sure you're using your preferred email. I know this confused some people. I know in my case, I registered for the event with PayPal, which is connected to an old email address when I set up PayPal. But when I activated, I used my current preferred address. So make sure you do that when you activate your 3 days. Next, Brooke, it's true, right, that if someone, let's say they're racing in to get back to the event and they forget, where's my link? They could go right back to the landing page and reactivate and get it right away. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Just keep summerblast2020.com on your pulled up, and everything you need is going to be there.
Yeah, so Summerblast 2020 is the answer. It's all going to be there.
Yes.
And Brooke, I'm going to ask you in a moment to share your screen with that again, if you're able to. Otherwise, I can do it.
I can.
Are you able to share it and maybe scroll it when I'm ready?
I sure can. Just let me know when you're ready.
Okay. And then the next thing, chat, and I think you've all been on enough Zooms, this, chat can be a real asset and a great communication tool, but it can also be a distraction. So we just want you to have good judgment. So like during the recess, chat away. You can say to people, hey, I love your background. Hey, great to see you. Just chat, chat, chat. But during the event, like if there's a speaker presenting, don't do any of that, because it's distracting, because people can see, oh, there's 12 chats. I want to see what's going on. And the moment our focus gets taken away, now we're losing what the speaker's saying. But if you want to put in the chat something like, wow, I read that book, it's awesome, or something that's really relevant to what the speaker's saying, do that. Just be discerning about that. One other thing, Brooke, and we'll certainly let people know this once we start the event, but we know there's going to be just tons of questions over the weekend. We've been thinking about what's the best way to capture the questions and be able to answer them. And So what we decided was when you have a question, write it down. So maybe a speaker's talking and you think, oh, I missed what he said, or I want to know what she's, that program, or, oh, I've got this question. Write it down. And then during a recess, email that question to Brooke, and you'll use John at summerblast2020.com. John at summerblast2020.com. All that communication will go to Brooke, and then at appropriate times throughout the weekend, we'll address the questions, especially the ones that we feel are most relevant to everybody. Okay. So with that, Brooke, will you go ahead, please, and pull up summerblast2020.com. And so once again, everyone, memorize this. Be ready to share it with your teammate who's saying, oh, I didn't activate. And so, yeah, let's start scrolling down. And right there is where it says, remember to activate your Zoom access. You can activate your account from the email that was sent to you or from the 3 links below. And it's probably easiest just using these 3 links, which Brooke just showed. There they are. And Brooke, I know you're going to change the word register to the word activate in each of those. Now let's scroll down further. And here's our featured speakers. And we're kicking off tomorrow night with a real powerhouse. Lisa Manini is doing things around the globe, mostly around the country. She's done events in Michigan and Hawaii and many other places. She's a keynote. She charges a healthy fee to speak. She works with entrepreneurs, business owners, and so she's going to get us started with a bang tomorrow night. Most of you know Chris Wilkes. Well, we take her for granted, but she's, ED or a doctor of education in health and wellness, and is just awesome in that arena, as is Dr. Rhonda Etherton. Don't know what happened there. I'm no longer seeing the Summer Blast 2020 page. So I'm sure Brooke is refreshing to share again.
Yes, hang one moment, please.
Sure thing. When we're done here, we're going to relive a memory from last year's event. I'm going to check the chat right now. Yep, and I'm going to answer the questions in the chat tonight. So there we go. And so you can see the speakers. So let's move through that. Brooke, if you can, scroll that. And now we're getting into the next section, the bonus, and this is the Vision Board Workshop. And do note there is a assignment here, those who plan to do this Vision Board Workshop, which will be during the lunchtime on Friday. Please go to canva.com as shown right there and get signed up for this. That's going to help when the event actually starts. And this is going to be a really fun, interactive, useful event. So I hope, everyone who's available Friday around the lunch hour can do this. Speaking of lunch hour, we are not doing our team Zooms tomorrow night or Friday 12:30 or Friday night. Okay, let's keep going, Brooke. People can still register for the $25. We picked up several registrations in the last 24 hours. In fact, today I went out and promoted to 42 people. It was mostly inactive associates, and I heard back from 7. So that's 1 in 6 have gotten back to me, and that's just in the last 10 hours or so. I don't think any of them have registered yet, but I expect out of those 42, probably 4 of those, about 10% will register. Okay, let's keep going. Here's the agenda, and this is not the final. So the final is going to get posted tomorrow. This will be replaced with a more updated version, but this is pretty close to updated. So you can certainly work off of it in terms of scheduling your time with your family and your life. And then let's go all the way down to the FAQ. And here are the questions. And So will the event be recorded? Yes, it will be, and it will be available to everyone who registers prior to the start of the event. So that's why you want to be registered. Even if you're going to miss half the event, you'll be able to go back to it. And then once again, any communication to Brooke and the Q&A during the event, there it is in orange, john@summerblast2020.com. So with that, Brooke, you can stop the share. And I want to start to wrap up before we go to that clip and just share that I'm viewing this Summer Blast as very special because we did 10 live events, and many of you were part of one or more of those where each year we upped the ante, we went to better arena or better facilities and had increased numbers and had better speakers. And every year people said, I don't know how it will get better than this. And every year it somehow did. So now this year, you know, it'll be very hard to top what we did last year. We were live together at a world-class venue, but this will be different. And that different is going to make it better in being virtual. And it's going to be the start of something, a seed planted in terms of other things we can do going forward that are already in the works. So I am going to ask in advance, be patient, be understanding. I expect we'll have flaws, you know, and as we always have. And we want to, you know, expect the best, but plan for the worst in terms of, you know, technology and things that can go wrong. So be understanding of that, be patient. We're going to do our best here in the first virtual Summer Blast. So to wrap up tonight, let's go ahead with a really fun video from last year, French Lick. We'll let this run for a minute or two, and then we'll wrap up. Here we go. Okay, so those who, you can stop. Okay, there we go. Thanks so much, Alice. And those who attended last year would remember that as a lot of fun. If you weren't there, you're watching that and saying, what the heck is going on? And we just had a great snowball fight in the summer. And by the way, my two grandkids have learned summer snowball fights, and it's one of their favorite things now to get those balls out and throw them at each other. So that was fun. We're going to figure out some ways to have fun where we won't be in person throwing snowballs, but we'll be doing other things. So I'm looking forward to seeing y'all at the Summer Blast here starting right tomorrow night on time, 7 p.m. The Zoom room will open at 6:30. We'll see you then. With that, thanks, Steve. Thanks, Alice. Thanks, Brooks. Kudos to everyone who joined tonight. Take care. Bye-bye for now.